Welcome back to episode 3 of the Intellectual Soul Food Lunch Buffet. I'm your host, Tamia Jacobs, and we're going to be doing things just a little different since today's episode is in partnership with the Alabama State University TRIO program, an unique experience targeted at first-generation students from disadvantaged backgrounds, searching for community and leadership throughout their collegiate career. In studio with us today, we will be joined by TRIO Program Director, Dr. Aquanetta Pinkard, TRIO Student Representative, Caleb Walker, and first-generation student Senior Communication Major, Devontae Daniels. We have a lot in store for you today, so let's hop right into the main course as field reporter Kendall Manns gives us a little insight into the background and college journey of a first-gen student with big dreams and even greater commitment to success.
The Center of First Generation Student Success defines a first-gen student as one that's parents didn't complete a 4-year college degree regardless of other family members' level of education. According to Forbes, 56% of all undergraduate students are first generation. Among that 56%, 60% are females and 40% are males. 46% of the first generation students are white, followed by Hispanics at 25% and African Americans at 18%. At Alabama State University, the TRIO program creates opportunities and provides resources specifically for those first-generation students in an effort to support them. And Tangela Petty explain the benefits of TRIO and the work that it does for students.
Sir, we serve as support in bringing awareness to the challenges that first-gen students face. As I said earlier, not that regular students or continuing generation students don't face challenges or obstacles, but when you put that on top of first gen, sometimes not having support financially, not having support emotionally, we are here as the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, whatever students need us to be to ensure that they graduate, not only graduate, but graduate being successful and graduate on time.
There are a number of resources that come out of TRIO to benefit first generation students. For example, the counseling, the tutorial services, and other resources that are in the community to help them to be able to be successful here at Alabama State University. You know, being a first generation student, I know firsthand the struggles that they go through as it relates from financial, childcare, transportation. And so TRIO provides an opportunity to partner with community resources so that they can be successful.
Graduating from college is a big achievement for first-gen students, especially when dealing with the stresses and pressures of being the first in your family. Senior Amaya Duvall's story is one of pushing through those obstacles and achieving success.
Yes, so my family is originally from Montgomery, Alabama. So Montgomery is second home to me. My mom was born in Montgomery, however, she was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. She had me at a young age. My mom had me in high school. It was about her senior year, I believe. So she went to prom pregnant, she graduated pregnant. So that was like my whole upbringing, just, you know, kind of growing up with my mother. My freshman year, I didn't join anything. It all happened my sophomore year. I'm a part of an organization called SOS, which stands for Student Orientation Services. And SOS was really like my first family at Alabama State. And we do school tours, host welcome week events. And I always tell people SOS is an outlet. Like, I could be going through the worst at school, and just by me staying busy with them, by doing tours, hosting events, it's like I forget about everything that I could be going through at the moment. So SOS was really like something that just kept me going during school, even having like just that extra backbone and support. Then I ended up joining National Society of Leadership and Success. That was my junior year, which is a honors program. And then also I joined the RISE mentorship program, which I didn't start off as a mentor, I was actually a mentee. Then, of course, I am a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, which is really founded on sisterhood and community service. And yeah, so that's a few things I have been a part of at Alabama State.
Despite the immense pressure to make her family proud, Duvall continues to excel and to pay it forward for her younger siblings.
Yeah, it was a little pressure because for one, it's like, I can't disappoint my mother. Like, that's like when I say me and my mom are super close, like that's my best friend, the person I call for everything. So I feel like the pressure was definitely at an all-time high simply because I am her firstborn. However, I do have 2 other siblings, so it's like the bar is really high because, for one, I'm setting a standard for my siblings. So every day is like, okay, Amaya, you're not just doing this for yourself, you're doing this for 2 other people that you have behind you.
Right after this, we will be joined by TRIO Program Director and first-generation college student, Dr. Aquanetta Pinkard. Don't go away.
It's bittersweet. It's something that we've been talking about for a long time. I know this chapter would come, but I'm proud. It's an emotional time, but I'm very proud. Okay. No, I'm not. You sure? I'm sure. No.
My major is in business administration. I'm excited to see what Alabama State can offer me and what I can also offer Alabama State. I'm excited for my new journey, and I'm ready to see what comes with this new experience.
I'm probably going to be a future history maker because I have big aspirations. I'm very ambitious, and I plan to really make my mark on this campus.
Become a history maker today. Visit www.alasu.edu.
We hope you're ready for the first serving because in studio with us, we have Alabama State University TRIO Program Director, Dr. Aquanetta Pinkard. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, Dr. Pinkard, can you tell us a little bit more about the TRIO program and how it impacts students here at ASU?
Well, TRIO programs it's not, most people think it's an acronym, but it's not an acronym. It's an umbrella under the Department of Education, and it's a grant-funded program. So each year, in a 5-year cycle, we write this grant for the students here at Alabama State University. And through that, we're able to offer counseling and tutorial services, which most of our services are individual, one-on-one. We have a lab that's solely set aside for students who are enrolled in the program. Also, students that are interested in going to graduate school, we are prepare them for graduate school with the looking for different scholarships, taking the GRE or the LSAT or whichever they choose to, what they're having to take. So that's it in a nutshell, and just basically offering some support services so that we make sure that they graduate on time and also graduate successfully.
So that's incredible. And Dr. Pinkard, I actually want to bring up some statistics here. So I want to read this to you.
Sure.
According to the Alabama Association of Educational Opportunities program personnel, 37% of TRIO students are white, 35% are African American, 19% are Hispanic, 4% Native American, and 4% are Asian American. And then 22,000 TRIO students are disabled. So can you talk about the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in a program like TRIO?
Absolutely, because as we said, it's TRIO. We don't. There's no eligibility criteria for race. Because all students have challenges. So we are here to support them and make sure that their educational experience is not only a good one, but it is a successful one. That when they go on, they're able to go on and do big and great things, just like everybody else.
Absolutely. So in my research, I found it a little bit difficult to find out if the TRIO program was actually nationwide or if it was just something in the state of Alabama.
No, TRIO programs is nationwide.
Oh, wow.
We have our state association, which you mentioned earlier, the AOP, Alabama Association, and then we have our regional associations with it, the Southern Association, and then we have COE, which is our partners in National First Gen Day, and that we serve people students from Guam, Hawaii, all over the place, so it is nationwide.
That's very cool. And as a first-generation college student yourself, could you please tell us what challenges you experienced during your collegiate career, and what challenges do you think that modern-day college students might face that may be different from your own?
As a first-gen student, I came here with 2 kids.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I came here not only as first-gen student, but a non-traditional student. So, but still having some of the same challenges that you talked about earlier, transportation, having those transportation issues, having to work and take care of a child, but then trying to be enrolled in school full time, not part time, but full time, and making that happen. So sometimes working 40 hours a week and still being enrolled, full time, coming home taking care of 2 kids, one that was a toddler at the time and one that was going to middle school. So that was my experience. So I didn't get the opportunity to have some of the experiences that some of the students here. You get to hang out on the yard.
Right.
You get to live in the dorm. I didn't have that experience. But being back here, it has given me, a great opportunity to kind of relive that through you guys. So, yeah.
That's very cool. And I know you spoke about some of the challenges that you face. And I know that another challenge a lot of first-gen students face is actually getting financial assistance, and specifically with filling out financial aid forms, which can be difficult because they don't have that prior knowledge. So can you talk about what resources TRIO offers to students with financial aid?
We're there to help students complete those applications. It is a daunting process for continuing education students, so it's even more a daunting process when you're talking about someone who has not had the prior experience or family experience or people that can help them in their family to muddle through that process. Right. So we're there, as I said earlier, as their aunties to, sit down with them, help them to fill the form out properly, and making sure that they can, get that form in on time and not have to, lag behind or get it in late because, they didn't know how to do that. So we're there to support them through that process.
Absolutely. So in your personal experience, what value have you found in higher education, and how do you promote that value to your students?
I promote that value to my students because sometimes, because of the struggles, you think, I can just go get a job and do, but, going and get a job is great, but if I have the education, nobody can take that from me.
Right.
Nobody can steal that part, that smart, that intelligence, that intellect that I've been able to gain here as a student and move forward in my life. So that's the way I instilled it into my students.
Absolutely. And what role models and inspirations have you found throughout your professional journey, your collegiate career, that still inspire you today to be the professional woman that you are?
TRIO is a community, so I have found so many professionals that are professionals in the TRIO community that have pushed me forward, have continued to, even getting my PhD. I probably wouldn't have gotten it, maybe not, but just because I'm involved in this community, I was able to go ahead and get my PhD, have the support to get my PhD when my family didn't understand what I was doing. But so I have a lot of mentors, that I still rely on to this day.
Absolutely. And you talked about that family support aspect, which is really important for a lot of students. And I know that a lot of first generation students might not have that. Can you talk about what advice you would offer to those students who don't feel that support system at home?
Reach out to your faculty and staff here on campus. There's a wealth of knowledge out here on this campus. There are people who are doing things that may not voice it, out loud, but they have a wealth of knowledge that they can push you on. So reach out. Don't be afraid to connect with someone, whether it's someone from your hometown, someone who have some of the same experiences. You get to talking to faculty and staff, and they'll share some things with you. They'll be transparent enough. So reach out to people to become a part of a community, so that you can have that support to move forward. Sometimes our family don't understand.
Right.
So they don't understand what you're trying to do or what you're trying to accomplish with the class or with a paper or a 20-page paper. They may not understand that, but there's a wealth of knowledge. There's many people out here who will be more than happy to be a part of your team and push you forward.
Absolutely. And can you tell us a little bit more about what projects or achievements you're most proud of for the TRIO program?
I am most proud of TRIO here at Alabama State has been around for approximately 30 years.
Oh, wow.
From our pre-college program all the way up to the college level. We've been around for about 30 plus years, and that's something that some other institutions hadn't been able to do for one reason or another, but we have been able to maintain the program here for our students and be that pillar for the students here at Alabama State.
Absolutely. And do you find that being not only a mentor, but also being maybe a maternal figure or maintaining that personal relationship with your TRIO students is also equally as important?
Absolutely, absolutely. I see students that I were part of their lives when I first came here to work, and I've been here 22 years, but we still talk, we still communicate. We still have relationships, you know, when they come in town for homecoming and Turkey Day Classic, you know, they come to see us, you know, because they remember. And I sometimes when you don't think that you're making an impact, you'll have one student that come and say, you know what, without you saying this or saying that to me, I probably wouldn't have completed college. So so it's very important.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you like to maintain that relationship with students even years to pass their college experience.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us, how can we reach out to you for students who may want to get involved with TRIO or may just need someone to speak to about their college experience? How can we get in contact?
Well, we're located in McGee Hall, room 109. Also, you can reach us by calling 334-604-9064. That's 334-604-9064.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Dr.
so much for
Pinker.
having me.
No problem. So we want to thank Dr. Pinker for taking the time to be here with us today. And next up, we have two motivated first-generation students on the path to graduation, TRIO representative Caleb Walker and senior communication major Devontae Daniels. Stay tuned for more of the Intellectual Soul Food Lunch Buffet.
It's bittersweet. It's something that we've been talking about for a long time. I know this chapter would come, but I'm proud. It's an emotional time, but I'm very proud. You okay? No, I'm not. You sure? I'm sure. Is it like you sleeping? No.
My major is in business administration. I'm excited to see what Alabama State can offer me and what I can also offer Alabama State. I'm excited for my new journey, and I'm ready to see what comes with this new experience.
I'm probably going to be a future history maker because I have big aspirations. I'm very ambitious, and I plan to really make my mark on this campus.
Become a history maker today. Visit www.alasu.edu.
Hope you're not fooled just yet, because in studio with us today, we have first-generation students, TRIO representative Caleb Walker, and senior communication major Devontae Daniels. Thank you both for being here with us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. So let's start off with you, Devontae. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and your family and what actually inspired you to get a higher education?
Okay, well, I was born and raised in the beautiful historic city of Savannah, Georgia. I went to Savannah Early College and Alfred Eli Beach High School, and there I joined a program called Upward Bound, and it's through Upward Bound that I made it here to Alabama State University. It essentially led me up to come here to pursue my degree.
Absolutely. And Caleb, tell us a little about yours.
So the reason why I decided to pursue a 4-year degree is due to the community leaders that been in my life, and then encouraged me, like, just let me know, like, hey, this is the best way to go and get your education so you can make it out of the situations you're in now. So that's really been a big inspiration of why I came to get my 4-year degree.
Absolutely. And Caleb, I want to stay on you for a second. Can you tell us a little bit about how you found out about the TRIO program and what that experience has been like for you?
I found out about the TRIO program through one of my mentors. She's actually my first lady at my church back in Greensboro. She inspired me to make a connection with Miss Battles. She's a part of TRIO, so it took me a minute to actually join TRIO. But once I actually got into the program, it has been nothing but an amazing opportunity.
Absolutely. And Devontae, can you tell me a little bit about your actual academic and career goals? And have you found community here at ASU?
Absolutely. My freshman year, I was a part of the band, and then I joined Elite, the Elite Modeling Company. That is essentially my family and my community here. It spans almost 25 years here at the school, so joining that organization, it connected me with people who were interested in things I was interested in and were focused on living at an elite level. So that's my community.
Absolutely. And what are your academic and your career goals?
My career goals are to graduate, well, first academic, I'm trying to graduate with my master's in applied computer science.
Okay, cool.
I'm currently working on my bachelor's in computer science right now. So my career goal is to land a job, but not only that, like be able to provide for my family in total, as in like I'm trying to say. And just to wrap it up, like just basically to land a job and then like find an area just for the best to raise my family.
That's very important. And as you guys probably know, first generation students sometimes can feel an added pressure to not only succeed, but to succeed in a 4-year period. So can you talk about your experience with that and what advice you would offer to other first generation students who might feel that pressure?
Wow. That is something that I don't think that a lot of people acknowledge or talk about, the pressure to not only graduate, but to do it in 4 years. It may sound like an easy thing, but when you don't see that or see other people doing that or come from a background of people doing that, you have to walk that walk yourself.
Right.
So my advice to people who are doing that is to take your time. Like, no one can rush you. Let no one put pressure on you to be your best self but you. So hold yourself accountable and you'll make it through. And whatever time you're supposed to graduate, you will graduate.
And what about for you, Caleb?
I would say that is something that nobody really speaks about. But my biggest advice towards that is like understanding, so like making sure you find your sense of belonging. Like like understanding that you belong here, and not only that, take advantage of your resources, all the resources, because especially on campus, it's so many resources coming from, especially TRIO, most definitely, but also tutoring. Like it's a lot of labs, like tutoring labs. It's a lot of resources as far as like applying for financial aid, scholarships. Like just understand that there's people here for you, so you're not alone. In a sense.
Absolutely. And Devontae, I know that you're not actually a part of the TRIO program, but you are a first generation student. And do you think that a program like TRIO is actually beneficial to first generation students? And now that you know a little bit more about it, what is your perception of it?
Absolutely. I'm not a part of TRIO, but I have had help from TRIO. I've been able to go in there and ask for simple things. Like they really are the sweetest people. But for example, when we first came back to school after COVID and we didn't have a mask or something, they were the ones, I'll just stop by there and get a mask or go in and ask to print something. And the assistant in there is always willing to help. Or Dr. Pinkert, if I needed to talk to her about something, I'm sure she would be there to help as well. So.
Oh, absolutely. And Devontae, you bring up a really important part about the whole COVID pandemic. So Caleb, can you talk to us about how you sort of navigated that time? I know that was a really mentally challenging time, not only for everyone in the world, but also specifically for college students. So talk to us about your experience with that and how TRIO sort of helped you navigate that time.
Okay, my experience, I'm a graduate of class 2021. So I actually came like when COVID, like during COVID, like coming towards the end. So what I did to navigate through it, like it was like a little tough because, we're just getting back and you see that most classes are online.
Right.
And then like when you have to go to class, you have to wear a mask. And then it wasn't really any events on the yard like around that time, so you couldn't really do anything. So how I navigated through it, I made connections with our vice president of admissions, Dr. Freddie Williams, and me and him had conversated about life. I can go to him anytime just to chat, and then he would just give me advice about certain things, let me know if I'm on the right path or not. So that's really the main thing I did, and also just like building connections with the students on campus, like people, especially the ones that's been here for the longest. So
Absolutely.
Just understanding how they navigated through it while it was during COVID. So yeah, and then TRIO really helped me because he used to always go to the lab and actually just chat with Miss Battles, Dr. Pinkert, Miss Rudolph, and Mr. Honors especially. I can't leave him out. But they all played a big part, whereas like people to talk to, like they gave me an opportunity to see like where I really want to go in life.
Absolutely. And so we talked to Dr. Pinkert a little bit earlier about sort of having that familial support, right? That support system outside of school.
Right.
So what has your experience been like with family support as a first generation student? We can start with you, Devontae.
Well, I'm 5 of 8 and we have the same parents.
Oh, wow.
So I have 3 siblings older than me. They all went to college, and they all did graduate, but it's still our generation that's the first to do it. So having them and having my parents go through their college experiences and sending them to grad school and law school, it's kind of helped. But outside of my parents, they don't have support from their family members to support our dreams, because when you come from a family of degree people, which is kind of what we're building now, not only do you have your parents' support, but you may have your aunt, you may have your uncle, your grandparents can help you. So that has kind of been the biggest strain, but my parents manage it well, and my siblings do help out as well. So.
And what about for you, Caleb?
I would say personally, my experience with family, I didn't really have a lot of support with my family. I mostly reached out to community leaders, as in like church members, senators, mayors, like just community leaders in the community. Well, yeah, community leaders. So I reached out to them, and they seen my vision and they seen where I wanted to go. So they helped support. So that's why I'm here today. It helped me get a scholarship, and on top of that, it helped me get more resource like connections with people on campus. So that's the big thing I really did.
Absolutely. And just to wrap it up, I would like to know from both of you, what resources would you like to see more of on a campus like ASU for first-generation students?
Scholarships. I definitely think that it should be a scholarship strictly for first-generation college students. I know me being out of state, I have the Promise Scholarship, so that kind of helps me pay for school. But for other kids who may not be from out of state or who may be from Alabama, who are first-generation college students, I'm not sure that they have those opportunities, because I remember before I had my Promise Scholarship looking into being a first-generation student, looking for those scholarships, because I know there are some schools that offer those resources. Our school doesn't, so I feel like we should totally consider that.
I agree. And what about for you, Caleb?
I'd like to add on to him about what he said about scholarships. TRIO actually offers scholarships, but I feel like the school should, like he said, offer a scholarship for first-gen students, so that can help better us and help us more out with the financial part.
Right.
Absolutely. Very important. Well, I want to thank you both for being here and sharing your stories with us. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So much information and so much more discussion to be had. We want to thank all of the guests of today's episode, and we hope that this conversation provided some insight on the resources and the ambitions of first-generation students, as well as highlights the importance of providing support to that community of students. And coming up next, don't go away, because ASU students are going to let us know the true meaning behind where history is made.
Alabama State University, we're focused on student success. Choose from 63 undergraduate and graduate degree programs from a university that has provided educational excellence for more than 150 years. From research to robotics, education to economics, theater to technology, we have the degree to fit your future. Choose the tradition. Choose the promise. Choose Alabama State University.
This is where history is made. I feel like I am a history maker because I am the first in my family to attend an HBCU, and additionally, I'm the first in my family to pledge a D9 organization. I feel like Alabama State is preparing me to be an active leader in my program. I major in forensic biology, and that's not very popular, and I want to go to medical school in forensic pathology. And the teachers and professors in the physical science department have always supported me in my classes, my decisions, and even helping me in my applications to medical school.
Become a history maker today. Visit www.alasu.edu.
Welcome back. Today in studio, we are actually joined by Dr. Steele, an instructor of reading in the Department of Advancement Studies. Dr. Steele, thank you for being here with us today.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. So Dr. Steele, tell me a little bit more about the Department of Advancement Studies and what your actual role is as an instructor of reading.
Yes, I help improve students who enter the university unconditionally, who need improvement in their vocabulary and comprehension skills. And so before they transition to their college level courses, they get an opportunity to use different strategies to help them get to that next level with advanced vocabulary and comprehension skills to be successful as they matriculate up the ladder to graduation.
Oh, absolutely. And I know you were telling me a little bit about how you work in partnership with the TRIO program and with a lot of first-generation students. So first, can you tell me what inspired you to get into that line of work? And then also tell me about how you actually got involved with the TRIO program.
Okay, sure. Well, I am first generation and want to make note that today is National First Gen Day.
Very cool.
And I have worked closely with Dr. Pinkert, the director of TRIO program. And since we are both first gen, and she provided me with information on how they have different programs for first gen. And we connected in that manner, and we just started talking and actually thinking of strategies that we can help our first gen students. So this has been going on now for about 4 years. And so once I saw how the love that she had and the passion that she had for first gen, it was just a true divine connection that we had. And after many years of doing several activities, we decided to start a First Gen Scholars Club. And so that's how we became connected, and we're still finding opportunities for students so we can help build that community and let them have a sense of belonging. And they did not have a First Gen Scholars Club when I was coming through. I wish they did, but the opportunities that's afforded to them by the different programs that's offered nationwide, it gives them that opportunity to connect with others and to feel that, hey, it's someone there to support me. And since just to knowing that I'm making a difference in the lives of first gen students in partnership with Dr. Pinkert of the TRIO program, it gives me that feeling that I have made a difference in the first gen, in their lives.
Absolutely. So Dr. Steele, as a first generation student yourself, can you tell me a little bit more about that experience, sort of what your college career looked like, and what resources do you wish that you had during that time that maybe some first generation students have today?
Okay, thank you. I definitely will answer that. As a first gen student, I did not have the resources such as financial resources. So I came here as a fish out of water. But through mentors, through the resources that Alabama State provided, and I was groomed by my professors, that helped pave the way for where I am now. So the financial part, that was challenging, but thankful for the financial aid, Pell Grants, and all the other resources, I was able to graduate successfully. But being that financial struggle, it did cause some depression. It did cause some disconnect at times, but and I do not want, and I'm at that point in my life now, I don't want anybody to face those same challenges. So if there are opportunities such as scholarships, I think another student mentioned that earlier, and resources to just ease that feeling of discomfort, I want to be a part of that. So that's the challenge that I face, more financial obligations. But again, I must say Alabama State University, the instructors here provided the advice needed and paved that way so I could be successful today.
Absolutely. So as an instructor of reading, right, of course, you're very encouraging of literacy and reading comprehension amongst your students, right? So why is it that you encourage that? Why is that so important for first generation students to understand the importance of literacy?
Well, reading is fundamental. And when I talk to a lot of my students, I usually ask the questions on a survey: when was the last time you read a novel, or what was the last book that you read? And when I hear I haven't picked up a book since read a book since elementary school, or read a book since my freshman year, that just that was a concern to me, because you gain so much information just by reading. And so when I hear that, that allows me to create strategies and opportunities for students to read books. So we visit the library. They have an opportunity to work in groups to read, and we do a reading project every semester. And through those reading projects and hear their feedback, I hear comments as, "Wow, I needed that. I'm ready to read my next book." And when the students take the time to read, you see that their grades improve and they're more engaged to continue reading and to move on to the next level beyond those developmental classes.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of outreach, and maybe even beyond first generation students who might just need assistance with reading comprehension in general? Can you talk about what type of work you've done in that aspect?
Yes, we actually, in our department, we offer tutoring services. I also was part of a grant called Supplemental Instruction, where students not only get the instruction from me, they also are required to attend tutoring sessions to help improve their reading. And outside of that, I make sure I meet with my students at least once a week for after hours to see if they need to increase their vocabulary by providing extra activities or extra readings that says, hey, this is something extra that you can use, or supplemental that you can use to increase your vocabulary and comprehension. And outside of that, we visit the library here, the Levi Watkins Learning Center, regularly, and so they can be surrounded by books. So when you surround yourself in an environment, there's an opportunity for you to pick up one of the million books that's here.
So, Dr. Steele, when you look back in retrospect, right, coming from being a first-generation student to now a professional in the field, to being an instructor of reading, to being a doctor, what are some of those biggest lessons that you've learned? And can you share with us what advice you would have for first-generation students to stay motivated throughout their collegiate journey?
Well, first and foremost, I like to say, even though my parents did not go to college, they did instill in me to keep God first. So that's one of my main, I have to say that, because without God, I could not be where I am today, or with the connections that I have. So, and then secondly, the networks that I have. Making sure that you network, connect with the resources around you, connect with your professors, because they have been there. And so that will be one of the, that will be another thing. Make that connection, ask for advice, ask questions, and as you ask those questions, do your own research. And lastly, just work really hard and have strong work ethics. And if it does not work this way, try another way.
Very important. Dr.
Yes.
Steele, can you let us know where we can reach out to you, maybe students even who aren't first generation? How can we get in contact with you?
Yes, my email address is csteele@alasu.edu. If you have would like any information on resources, especially to improve your reading and vocabulary, and also with the First Gen Scholars Club, you can get in touch with me that way, also through TRIO.
Absolutely. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Dr. Steele,
Thank
for being
you.
here with us today.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you. With all hearts, minds, and stomachs full, this has been your monthly serving of the Intellectual Soul Food Lunch Buffet with me, Tamia Jacobs. Until next time, take care of yourself and one another.
This episode of Intellectual Soul Food Lunch Buffet is brought to you by Alabama State University. Become a history maker today.